Welcome to Bergen County's seat. This is Hackensack, New Jersey. Right behind us, we have the Bergen County Courthouse. This is the epicenter of Bergen County. And if you're looking to invest or buy a residential property or condo near New York City in a highly appreciating town, I highly recommend you watch this video because we're gonna take you through Hackensack. We're gonna show you the main sections of Hackensack, what each area has, the nuances within it, and where you might want to consider acquiring your next piece of property. In Hackensack, we have single family homes, multifamily homes, condos, co-ops, and a ton of rentals. Hackensack is a rental heavy town, so those single family houses, multifamily houses, condos that you can own are prime pieces of real estate because they are limited to less than 40% of the town's population actually owns their home in Hackensack, and Hackensack has so much development going on. So there's a lot going on in this video. We're gonna show it all to you. My name is Tyler Sellers. This is Bergen County Real Estate, and this is Hackensack, New Jersey. The courthouse does sit in downtown Hackensack, and behind me right here is Main Street in Hackensack, New Jersey. Now, Main Street up until a few years ago was a one-way street, but as part of Hackensack's Revitalization program, which is a pilot program funded by the state of New Jersey to bring Hackensack up to par as a modern city right outside of New York. Hackensack is one of the 3 cities in Bergen County. But behind me right here, we have the new Main Street. So all these storefronts, there was a bunch of closed down storefronts around 10 years ago, 15 years ago. They are slowly opening up and they're just getting nicer and nicer. Here's a new place. I have never even heard of it. It's called Badass Coffee of Hawaii, right behind me. And that's brand new. So there's a lot of new stuff coming to Hackensack. And this is just a little glimpse as to what you can expect for the future. This is gonna be a modern city where people are flocking to in order to get a cheaper accommodation that still offers great commutability to New York City. I just met Brianna. She was waving to me on the street. What's up, Brianna? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Thank you very much. So you were born in Hackensack?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. And have you seen Hackensack change over the years?
Yeah. At first, when I was here, I lived here for about 5 years.
Oh, you did? Cool.
So I don't really remember much, but lately, what I have seen is that, like, you see how everything is like pretty clean and neat and everything like that.
Yes.
It wasn't always like that. It was a little dirty.
Are you excited for Hackensack, all these new buildings to get finished and everything like that?
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool.
Cool. Are you excited for the new stores that are kind of popping up all over town?
So I just went to the smoke shop right here.
Yeah?
I'd never been there, and the guy was pretty nice, and like I didn't know they have like you could set up an account with your name, and that any location you go to, that your name pops up. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Very cool. Clean shop?
Yeah.
Is it a newer one?
I'm pretty sure it is. It looks pretty new in there.
Cool.
So.
All right, cool. Brianna, pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Thanks for your time today.
You too.
And say what's up to all the people on
Hey.
YouTube. So you kind of notice as you go through downtown, you're gonna see construction going on pretty much somewhere. Over the past 5 years, there's constantly been these new rental buildings going up. Here's one going up behind me. This is a little smaller one. However, there are some massive ones. And so Hackensack is attracting a lot of renters. Supposedly, one day these rentals will become condomized and you can purchase some of these properties. I don't know exactly when that will be, if it is ever happening, but I have heard rumors about it through the grapevine, through talking about people in the real estate world. All right, you can't see very clearly here, but this is the brick behind me, a rental building. When it was completed, it was fully rented out within the first 6 months. There's, I think, 300 units in there, just to give you an idea for the demand for the rentals that these new rental buildings are attracting. Over here too, you could kind of see it. That's the Prince House. It's the old location of the Bergen Record, which is the Bergen County newspaper for as long as I was a child and probably many years before that. They knocked it down and now it's the Prince House. It's got 3 gigantic buildings, all luxury, all very nice apartments, attracting very high price points. 1-bedroom apartments are getting to be close to that $3,000 a month mark. So that's what we're looking at in Hackensack, New Jersey. Once more people start moving into these rentals, you can only imagine how much the town will transform. And I'll show you some of the real estate soon. This restaurant right here, Casual Habana, was one of the first ones that kind of planted itself into Hackensack's Revitalization program, and it is a cool restaurant. They open up the doors. And then, something that I think is very cool, and I love when they do this, when they first started fixing up the downtown, one of the first things they did was put in this mural behind me, the Sack. A lot of people do not like the name for reasons that I guess I can understand, but I think it's awesome. It's a cool nickname, easy to remember, and it just denotes the fact that we're in a place that has some culture, has some swag. It's a Sack. This is Hackensack, and you know what? I think it's cool that it's a little rough around the edges because we saw Edgewater, it transformed. It used to be abandoned Superfund sites, completely polluted. Nobody would go down there, all industrial. We saw Hoboken, same exact thing. Look at Hoboken now, the prices are insane. The Sack, Hackensack, New Jersey, it's next. So if you're ready to get into real estate early, in a place where it doesn't seem like you get in anywhere early, consider it. Look, do your own research, check this place out. They got a Pliables and a salad house next to each other. Tell me that there aren't college parents paying for their kids to go to these places. Come on, money's coming. And right behind me here is Iconic Coffee, which is a super new hotspot that it's kind of high. It's got 4.9 stars on Google reviews as of like May 1st. As you can see behind me, there's still a lot of undeveloped property storefronts. Hackensack in the 50s, 60s, it supposedly was a bustling place. This is where the Sears was, which was like the big department store in the entire county. And Hackensack was the spot. So everybody lived here, and as time went on, things became dilapidated and run down a little bit. And what I foresee for the future of Hackensack, these storefronts, they're gonna continue being bought up, developed, and you're gonna see bars over here. You're gonna see new shops, new restaurants, all sorts of stuff. You know, the nail salons, the IV drip places, all the fancy stuff that attracts new people, new mindsets, new socioeconomic classes. And what's gonna happen is all the properties surrounding downtown Hackensack are gonna increase in value because Hackensack's downtown is super walkable. So if you can pick up a property anywhere close to downtown, you're gonna have something in the heart of a newly developed city in the next 15 years that should appreciate very much accordingly. This is Hackensack Public Library. Inside is a gigantic library. It's a member of the BCCLS library system. So if you need any book, any movie, you can come here and they will order it from their neighboring libraries if they don't have it, but this is one of the biggest ones, so their selection, it's gigantic. And inside you can also find space to study, work. There's a lot of tables and very fast Wi-Fi, so it's a very nice spot to come and relax, enjoy, get some work done. This is my boy Sean, and I just randomly bumped into him on the street. He's got this store behind me. What is this store?
This is Sahara Jewelry. It's a jewelry store. We do repairs, we do cleaning, we sell diamonds, watches, anything you need, really.
Hey, yo, it looks nice. So it's grand opening soon?
Yeah, the grand opening is today, actually. We're doing a ribbon cutting with the mayor, and you know, we're getting to integrate with the community in Hackensack.
Awesome. So how do you feel the Hackensack community has changed, let's say over the past 10 years? You know, we both grew up in Pagoda, next town over, actually, right?
Yeah, man, Pagoda, you know, is a quiet town. Hackensack, the same thing. A lot of people didn't really come to Hackensack unless they really needed to. Now it's becoming, with all these apartments growing in, it's like people just come left and right to shop, to stop by, get a coffee, get dinner, lunch, whatever. It's coming up.
Yeah. Personally, I think what happened, it's gonna happen to Hackensack, same thing that happened to Edgewater, same thing that happened to Hoboken. I think Hackensack's next. Do you foresee like a lot of youth and you know, young professionals moving into the area in the next 10 years?
Yeah, hopefully, as a business owner, that's the goal. I think Hackensack is coming up. They're building new things. They're putting the community together. It's a walkable location now. There's a lot of businesses. It doesn't feel like that old Hackensack from 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's a cool place now, huh?
For sure.
Yeah, would you invest in Hackensack?
I just did.
You did? Well, the
store, and I would like to move to Hackensack again. You know, the town's getting better. It's cleaning up, and it feels a lot safer and better than it was 10 years ago. It's just a completely different environment.
Gotcha.
360.
I freaking love it. Yo, Sean, good to see you, man.
Good seeing you.
Looking around, there are still so many storefronts, I know I keep on saying it, that have yet to be rented, leased, bought, whatever it is, developed. But as you can see from what my friend Sean just said, who, it's funny, I actually grew up with that guy, Hackensack's transforming, and it's gonna happen slowly. It's not gonna happen immediately. So I'm not saying you buy in Hackensack and next year your house will be worth $100,000 more, but I do truly believe that if you buy in this area, all of this is gonna just get newly developed. It's all happening. It's funded by the state, so it's not like we're just hoping that this is gonna happen. This is a planned thing, Hackensack, New Jersey. It's not just some random place that's, oh yeah, I think these old storefronts are gonna be fixed up. It's happening, it's funded, and it's being pushed by a lot of people. There's tax abatements on all these new developments, so there's a lot of incentive to move to Hackensack, move your business to Hackensack, or just stop in Hackensack for a drink, dinner, coffee, whatever it is. Look at them. Here's another one, another new one going up. And then in the distance, you have the Sears Roebuck Tower. Sears has been closed for a while now, but I don't even know what they're gonna do with that building. Maybe convert it to a new shopping center, something. It's a huge building, but the epicenter of Hackensack is right there. Supposedly that's where it always revolved around, but now we just got so much new stuff going on. I just saw a man walking out of here with 8 coffees stacked on top of each other, just peeking inside. I want to try this place out one time. It looks really, really cool. Here's a new coffee shop called Stimulate. Great name, great name. Even buildings like this are so cool to me. Clearly a very old building. Someone bought it, re-facaded it, put a new modern storefront down low. I'm sure they renovated all the apartments up top, turned it into a nice piece of property that looks good in town and can attract many people for years to come. If they do that to all the properties or many of them, you'll have a completely different vibe right here. Behind me, we have the Hackensack bus terminal. Nobody knows this exists for some reason. This bus terminal is gonna be revitalized, knocked down. I suspect this gigantic empty lot next to the bus terminal has something to do with the bus terminal's revitalization. So supposedly it's gonna turn into a major transport hub. We told you about the print house before. The print house behind me right here, the brick right here. There are so many people who can afford these luxury apartments who need quick access to the city, and Hackensack bus terminal, once it gets revitalized, is gonna offer just that. But let's see how fast you can get to the city right now from Hackensack bus terminal. So for weekdays to get into the city from the Hackensack bus terminal right here, if you were to try to get into the city by, let's say, 8:59, work starts at 9, you're gonna have to take an 8:12 bus. It's an express bus, so it is about a 45-minute ride. However, the earlier you leave, the faster it's gonna be. As you can see, if you leave at 4:56, you'll get there at 5:34. Less than 40 minutes. Our bus is going all over northern Bergen County and northern New Jersey from this bus station as well. So you're not only able to get to the city, but pretty much anywhere in North Jersey through this here bus terminal. That should be enough boring you with the downtown main attraction, all the new stuff in Hackensack. Let's take you into town and show you the different sections, right? I'm gonna break down where the most expensive sections are, where the rough around the edges sections are. There's industrial sections in town. So next up is just giving you an overview and a feel for the town. That way, if you do want to move here, you know what kind of neighborhood within town you want to look for. Here we are in what I call the industrial section of Hackensack. We're on the corner of State Street and Lodi Street. So as we have gas stations, mechanic garages. We have a lot of very odd zoning and housing situations. There's single family homes next to businesses, next to warehouses. You can check this one out over here. See a single family house next to Barbaro Electric right there. But there's some new stuff in the area too. Like even over here we have Ramen Azuma, which is a nice ramen spot right in the industrial section of Hackensack. This is one of the more residential areas in this industrial area. And so taking you down this street, you're gonna see multi-family houses, single family houses. They're gonna be on top of each other in some cases. In some cases, they'll have gigantic backyards and you'll be like, wow, I can't believe they have all that property. Imagine what we could do there. Some of these properties I really like because you can see that big 2-car garage in the backyard. And their house, look how close to the front, to the street it is. It's got so much backyard space. So you actually can't build new houses this close to the street anymore due to zoning laws and regulations. You're gonna have to have like a 15 or 20 foot setback depending on the town. So while some people might want a bigger front yard and more curb appeal, It's really attractive to investors who want to maximize the living situation for their tenants, and tenants like to have space. And if you have a backyard, that's a lot more functional space than a front yard. As you can see, it's pretty nice over here. I mean, all things considered, I think it's nice. A lot of people don't, but different strokes for different folks, as I say, right? Behind me is a single family house for sale, and what do I think of it? I think it's a cool property right here in that industrial section, but one thing I noticed right away, there's no garage. The driveway is like a triangle, so it actually gets narrower as you go into the back. I don't even think you could fit a full car all the way up against that wooden fence over there. So it's a cool property, but I'd have to get it for the right price if I were to buy something like this, because this is what we call functional obsolescence. There's just some things that you cannot change, especially when it comes to these old properties. So, you know, there's certain things that you gotta look out for if you're shopping around here, and if you are gonna pick up something like that, just make sure you get a good deal. And this house behind me right here is the perfect example of what I'm talking about, how houses are on top of each other over here in Hackensack. It's kind of a hodgepodge situation, so looks like a normal house, but if you pay close attention, there's another house in the back of this property. Right down the driveway, there's literally another house, and it's fancy too, like with this stone facade and pillars and the big sun. Like, something's going on back there. Will I ever know? Maybe not. If this house ever comes for sale, it's gonna be a unique situation. It's gonna attract people from all over the place, because they're gonna be like, wow, it's kind of a special property. You would never be able to build something like that around here again. Probably built 100 years ago when there was much fewer rules and regulations, and who knows what they did to get permits and zoning and whatever approved back then, but whatever they did back then, you cannot do today. And then you got properties like this one, which you can tell this is probably 75 or 100 feet wide, probably about 100 feet deep, maybe 120 feet deep. And it's this skinny little sliver of a house on this gigantic lot, where normally in, you know, just across the street, you'll have 3 or 4 houses in that same space. So it's a hodgepodge over here. There's all sorts of different stuff. Here's an apartment building. Here's a house with an entrance there and an entrance there, and a driveway with diagonal parking over here. I mean, look at this guy right here. Everything's super unique. What's going on over here? I don't think anybody really knows, but what they do know is that Hackensack is appreciating rapidly thanks to new developments in town. And if you pick up a property over here, renovate it, make it comfortable to live in, it will have value based solely on location. Location, location, location. Here we are at the Essex Street train station, and at this train station you get to Hoboken in just 30 minutes. From there, you can take the path. It either gets you to downtown or midtown Manhattan. So it's a 30-minute ride to Hoboken, easy transfer at the same station. And from there, you're gonna take the path, less than a 10-minute ride right into downtown or midtown Manhattan. This is one of the 2 McDonald's in Hackensack. So if McDonald's is buying 2 locations here, how are you gonna tell me that it's bad real estate? The biggest real estate company in the world, 2 locations in Bergen County's biggest city. This is Simple Simon's Market. It's one of the only places in the area where you can easily just find booze at 2 o'clock in the morning. This was the first Starbucks in Hackensack. It's been here for quite a while as part of the Sanzari Medical Building over here. And they just opened up this new place too. It's called Bite, really cool cafe. Let's peek inside real quick. So this is that Hackensack University Medical Center area in town. It's in the southwest part of town, so it does have some nice residential real estate behind this. A lot of single family homes, couple multifamilies as well. It's a lot quieter and a lot more suburban than that more industrial section of town that I was showing you earlier. So this street we're on here is called Summit Avenue. If you know Hackensack at all, you know that Summit Ave is the only area where you're gonna get properties, single families, getting close to or above $1 million. So these properties are huge, the lot size are huge. Property taxes are very high on Summit Ave as well. These properties don't trade very often, so there's a lot of interesting folks who live in these properties, really love the Summit Ave area. And it's probably the most nicest or desirable part of Hackensack to live right here on Summit Avenue. So as we drive up on Summit Ave, We're gonna get closer to Passaic Street, and once we cross Passaic Street, we're in the northern part of Hackensack. And once you're up there, the lot sizes get even bigger up here on Summit Ave. The houses get even crazier and nicer, so we're gonna take you up there next. And now we're in the Fairmount section of Hackensack, often regarded as the most desirable neighborhood in Hackensack. You can see immediately the change in just overall charm of the neighborhood. As you may have been able to tell, there was a lot of background noise. You know, Hackensack is a city. There's a lot of big trucks coming through during the day. But over here in the Fairmount section, it's quite quiet and peaceful. You have a lot of Cape Cods, ranches, colonial style homes. Here's a Cape Cod right here. Even though it's an older house, you know, these Cape Cods were mostly built in the 1940s, 1950s. You got a lot of pride of home ownership, beautifully landscaped and manicured front yard. Look at the flowers in bloom. There's a lot of pride of home ownership in Hackensack. Something that I love and something that I look for when I'm looking for towns that are clearly showing signs of resilience and future appreciation. I love it here. I love the Fairmount section. Houses here in the Fairmount section do typically trade at a premium. You'll have a lot of charm and character that it captures buyers. When they come and check out these houses, they feel the difference compared to the other sections of town. And they compete for these properties. So I see a lot of these properties get listed and they do go up in bidding wars. They will disappear in 7 days off the market, especially in this section of town. Now, if there's some sellers in other sections of town asking for aggressive prices, maybe they're using comps from this section, just keep in mind that this section is gonna trade at a premium. The other sections might be a little less competitive and you might have a couple more days on market. A lot of two-family houses as we get close to the train tracks. So that's really nice because train tracks means good commutability, and good commutability means good rents, and good rents means good place for two-family houses. We like that. Here's a two-family right here, right next to the train tracks. B&W Bakery, absolutely famous bakery in Hackensack. Best crumb cake around. Definitely stop here, check out the crumb cake. You will not be disappointed. Here's the Target of Hackensack. That's pretty much the gist of it. That's what we got in Hackensack, New Jersey. We're wrapping it up here in Faucini Park. It's a huge park along the Hackensack River. There's another very big park a little further down along the Hackensack River. That one's called Johnson Park. They're putting a brand new sports complex over there. So just another reason why I personally want to buy at Hackensack. I'm worried that if I make this video, too many people are gonna wanna invest in Hackensack and it's gonna drive prices up so fast that I'm not gonna be able to have an opportunity. That said, I have seen Hackensack just keep on appreciating like crazy since I got into real estate in 2019, and they're just zero signs of slowing down, all signs of speeding up. Check this one out right behind us. We got Ivy and Green. This freaking rental building is one of the nicest ones. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. You got Manhattan views from the rooftop. They're not gonna stop. Currents on the Hudson is this one over here. That was one of the first ones. Overall, I think Hackensack is just a yes. If you ask me Hackensack, I'm gonna tell you yes. Things that you gotta be worried about, I guess the school systems aren't at the same level as the northern Bergen County towns. So if you have young children, you know, you might feel fine sending them to Hackensack, especially if you're coming from like Queens, Bronx, Brooklyn, something like that. However, if you're after like premium education, maybe consider private school, maybe consider a different town. What else do I think you gotta watch out for in Hackensack? I mean, it is one of the 3 cities in Bergen County, so while you might see crime stats online higher than other areas close around here, I personally feel safe. I'm walking around with my expensive camera and a tripod all over the city, zero worry about anything whatsoever. I love this area. I grew up very close to Hackensack. I think it's a staple in Bergen County, and I'm very excited for the just completion of all this development and just for the final change. I cannot wait to see what happens to this city. I cannot wait to see what happens to the real estate values. And overall, I can't wait to see how the upgrade and improvement in Hackensack affects the view, the public image of Bergen County, New Jersey, which is what I think is the best suburb to live in if you're a New York City professional and want to live in the suburbs but commute to New York City. You got Long Island, you gotta go through Queens to get to Long Island. You got Westchester, you gotta go through the Bronx to get to Westchester. You got Bergen County, you gotta cross the George Washington Bridge and you're in Manhattan, New York City. You also have super easy access to the Lincoln Tunnel and boom, you're in Manhattan, New York City in 20 minutes from this area right here. So super easy drive to New York City. You got access to major highways like Route 80, Route 17, Route 4. You have a ton of shopping, a ton of housing options. Prices here are gonna range, but you'll see a lot of properties in the $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 price range for single families. Condos, you'll see 1 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms from around $250,000 on the low end all the way up to as high as the single families go for. The apartments, the new luxury ones, they're quite expensive. However, you can get 2 families and stuff like that, and they'll be much more affordable, although they will be older and not have all the bells and whistles. That's it, guys. If you watched to this point in the video, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel. My name is Tyler, and I'm the guy. I'm the guy in Bergen County who I think you could feel very comfortable shopping with. I know the area like the back of my hand. I'm a geography geek. I can literally name every single town in Bergen County, all 70 of them, and point to them on the map. So if that's what you're interested in a real estate agent, make sure to check out my website down below, tsellnj.com. Get in touch with me there and we'll get shopping in no time. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching my Hackensack video.